predictions, prognostications, and general wishes for the upcoming 2024 Harley Davidson lineup. Back after this. 2024, Happy New Year! A new year, new possibilities. But will it be the same old from the motor company? Last month, Harley Davidson released a bunch of new 2024 models, but they weren't really new. They were just carryover models with different paint schemes. And the reason for this, so I'm told, is that when they ship the units in 2023, they get credit for units shipped in 2023. And Harley's numbers that they post for their shareholders are based on wholesale sales. When you buy something from the dealer, you buy your motorcycle from the dealer, that's a retail sale, and Harley doesn't keep track of those numbers. They just keep track and release units sold to their dealers, which is what the shareholders are looking at when they're wanting to value the Harley stock. So we got some new colors. We got primer gray. Billiard gray. Yeah, so Billiard Gray is the new base color. You might have heard this already for some other channels. And I went down to my local dealers to verify this, and sure enough, Softail Standard, Lowrider S, offered in Billiard Gray as the base model. And any other color beyond that is going to be an upcharge. Now the good news is the surcharge is now gone. In 2024, if we go on the website today, there should be no mention of a surcharge with purchase of a motorcycle from the factory. But did the surcharge really go away? Because most people like black, vivid black. That's the most popular color, right? Some bikes are just better in black. Lowrider S, Road Glide Street Glide ST. How many black baggers do you see at a rally? So now black is going to be a premium, and we're flooded with this primer gray looking Billiard Gray color. And the reason I call it primer gray is when I was growing up, if you couldn't afford a paint job on your muscle car that you were building, you would just paint it primer and run it like that until either A, you crashed it, you sold it, or you painted it yourself. So it's a very uninspiring neutral color, but it's a way for them, I guess, to get extra money, thinking that the most popular color is black, let's charge more for it. And we're going to charge you $300-$400 more for it in certain models. And that's kind of recouping some of that surcharge income, because trust me, anytime you give a business money and then you take it away, that opportunity goes away from them, they don't like it. They got to find another avenue. And that's the whole thing about inflation. It's just they take, and they give us less and less and less. So I'm not going to beat that drum too hard. Let's talk about some exciting things that are happening with Harley Davidson in 2024. I heard they're going to have a new CVO model that's different than any other CVO that's been released before. So let's look at the models that have not been CVOs that are in the current lineup. Well, that would be the Lowrider S, Lowrider ST. So look for a CVO model this year in the Lowrider ST or the Lowrider S. Chances are the Icon model is not going to be a Lowrider ST, because they did that a couple of years ago. So I'm going to say that a CVO Lowrider ST is forthcoming. It's Harley's most popular touring model chassis right now in units sold in the Softail line, and they're going to try to push that with an elevated status. Maybe, though, the CVO version of the Lowrider ST is going to have the new integrated LED lights. That's going to be really cool. They're going to update the fairing only 2 years after it was first introduced in 2022. They're going to have an updated fairing for that with LED integrated lights right from the factory. It's pretty awesome. Icon model this year, well, there's a lot of speculation. It's not going to be one model. I don't think it's going to be the Fat Boy. The anniversary edition for the Fat Boy is next year. Its first release was in 1990. So in 2025, they'll probably have an anniversary version of it. But I think this year, the Icon model, it might be something based on the FX Superglide from 1971. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do have a Lowrider S, like a FX Superglide. And that's my guess. What do you guys think the Icon model might be this year? Put it down in the comments below. But as per usual, we have a bunch of new colors. Shark skin blue. We got this cool alpine green. This Red Rock, red, new colors, yay. I don't anticipate that we're going to see any particular new models. The Breakout came back this past year. The Sport Glide is still sold in Europe with the 107s as standard, and that's continuing on for 2024, but they're not bringing that back to the States. So I don't think there's going to be any new models. In fact, we're losing models. The Fat Bob is gone for 2024. Yep, the Apocalypse Sport Bike is hitting the road. It is in the annals of history of Harley Davidson. And the Pan America Standard, which, not that they sold many of them. Every time you went to a dealer, it was always the Pan America Special that was being offered, which for the price difference makes sense. So the Pan America Standard is gone. But they're still continuing with the 107 base motor for your Street Glide, Road Glide offerings and a Softail Standard. The Electric Glide Police Bike, which is basically a Road King, that's available. And those dealers that deal with police bikes will have those available for you to purchase. I know in my area, Terry Morse's Daytona Beach Harley Davidson stocks a lot of those. So we do have another model that's coming out this year, and it's a reactionary model. Harley Davidson's reacting to something that Indian did last year. Now we all know that their CVO line kind of took a cue from the Indian Challenger updates that happened a couple of years ago with the LEDs and the fairing and so forth. But something happened last year when Indian released a race-only bike to their customers. Harley Davidson took note, and Harley Davidson said, this year we're going to release a King of the Baggers version available for sale to our customers. Now it's reported that this motorcycle is going to be about $100,000, so it's not for anybody, and it's a race bike only. Can't ride it on the street. It's going to be outfitted with all the greatest Screaming Eagle components. King of the Bagger bikes out there, they use a lot of stock parts, so you're not finding a lot of custom parts on these bikes. Pretty much stock and modified stock bikes. So to make a King of the Baggers version for sale, it's not that much of a stretch using the Screaming Eagle catalog. So now you too can take your King of the Baggers replica to your local racetrack and have fun on the twisties. So the other big change that might happen this year in 2024 that's picking up steam out there over the interwebs is the fact that the new Road Glide and new Street Glide is going to incorporate the CVO type style lighting in the fairing, which would be pretty cool. They haven't had a change to that Street Glide, Road Glide Grand Touring chassis in 10 years. And usually every 10 years they're going to come out with something new, if not sooner. But it's been 10 years. So making this modification to this current frame and just dealing with some upgrades in the fairing would be cool. I do not want to see the variable valve timing engine go into the Street Glide and Road Glides. I think that needs to be worked out some more. During my test ride of the CVO Street Glide, it was really weird when you pull that throttle down at idle and you flip it, and you count like 1 to 2 Mississippi, and then all of a sudden you would hear the exhaust note. So there's a response time lag that I was noticing at idle and also when I was riding it. So I was like, what's going on with that? And I realized there's some calculations that are going on, creating the right fuel mixture and so forth to give you the best fuel economy. But it was weird. But all I've heard is that the aesthetics are going to be improved, incorporating that LED lighting into the Street Glide and Road Glide fairings. Hopefully they'll work the bugs out on that too, because the CVO fairings were recalled this past month because they were having difficulty with it working in the wind. Apparently the fairings were coming loose or something, but I'm sure they'll work that out. I got faith in the motor company. And in other Harley Davidson events that'll be happening this year, they're going to have another summer Harley Davidson Rally, and they're going to continue to do that every year, taking away a little bit from Sturgis and some of the other rallies. The Harley Davidson Rally in Milwaukee is about a month difference, 6 weeks difference from that in Sturgis, and that's pretty hard for a lot of people to hit both events. But they're throwing their hat in the ring, and what they're trying to do is build a culture around their brand that they can control. Right now the Sturgis events, the events at Bike Week in Daytona, those are controlled by others, and there's politics in play with local governments in each of those locations. We've already seen where at Daytona the Bike Week is starting to expand off into Ormond Beach along US 1, where those particular types of private businesses can host a lot more motorcycles, bands, and pretty much have something there for you for the whole week. So Harley's taken that as a cue that they need to manage their events, manage their identity, and push their agenda for a rally. And I'm not passing a judgment. It could be a lot of fun. I don't know. Didn't go last year. And then in apparel lines, they're still partnering up with high fashion designers selling, you know, what normally would be $20 to $30 t-shirts for 80 to 150 bucks in metropolitan areas, setting up apparel only shops in big cities, and like I said, teaming up with designers to, you know, co-brand things where they can just get that extra margin. Bike sales are down, and the motor company has to do anything that they can to, you know, increase that bottom line, which includes selling derivative motorcycles that have the Harley name on it overseas on motorcycles made by other companies. I'd love to know Willie G's thoughts on that topic right there.
I think it's hogwash.
And some of what the old school Harley guys would think about that. It's like reverse Aramici, you know, when in the AMF days. It's like Harley is becoming AMF. This past year on the channel, I did a lot of first rides on Harley Davidsons. My first experience riding certain softail models and touring models, and I posted every one of those first rides up on my channel and created a playlist that you can see it here. And then last week I launched the best softail and best touring chassis video, what I thought was the best of my test rides. And you can view that video at the end of this one if you haven't seen it yet. But for 2024, I'm not going to be doing that again. I just wanted to ride all of the motorcycles at least once or twice, which I did. And now I'm going to do some deeper dives into particular models, do some episodes where we talk a lot more about the specifics of a model, in addition to how it rides, but also how it performs, and get into some of the nuts and bolts, and expand on that first ride series into a deep dive into certain select models. And if you want to see one of those models examined, ridden, and discussed, go ahead and put that down in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys are interested in seeing. I know what I'd like to see, but I'm really curious about what you guys are interested in seeing, and see if we can put something together for that for this coming season in 2024. My season 3 wraps up in April, the first week of April. That's when I started motovlogging and releasing videos. I started riding in 2021, last week of February, early March, and then my first videos came out in April. So my 4th season is going to start coming up in a few months, and we're just wrapping up season 3 right now. And I'm still learning a lot about motovlogging, about riding motorcycles, and sharing that. But I do want to turn the channel more towards what's important to you guys watching, because, you know, I'm having fun doing this. I've kind of cut my teeth on my learning experience as a motorcyclist and as a motovlogger, and now I want to start facing some of this content and what I'm filming and investing my time in towards what's interesting to you, not just only to me. I'm always going to do what I feel is cool and fun, because, you know, I'm doing it, so I want to have fun doing it, but also I want to make sure that I'm giving the information that ultimately you guys want to know about. So I want you guys to be partners with me on this channel. Such a beautiful and gorgeous day this holiday weekend. By the time you're seeing this will have been last week, Christmas weekend. I'm spending the whole weekend on my motorcycle visiting family. I got my Biltwell bag full of Christmas gifts for my daughter, and I got my new Viking Patriot bag with my clothes, and I just hit the road visiting friends and family for the weekend. Just visited Hail Rider on the way up, stayed over last night. We went on a ride this morning. She's got a new Ninja 250 Kawasaki that she recently picked up. You recall she had a Ninja 250, then that blew up in Seminole Harley's parking lot, so we got her into a Street 500 and sold it, and then bought this Ninja 250 with the proceeds. So we enjoyed riding today. Now I'm heading to farther north, almost the Georgia border, and then head back down and hit Gainesville tomorrow. Spend a couple days there, then head back home to Orlando. So I'll tell you what, I've been waiting a couple years to ride during the holidays. Beautiful Florida weather for it. Upper 50s, mid 60s. It's one of the reasons why I became a motorcyclist, just to get on the road and enjoy the time. Get away from the hustle and bustle. And do it on my agenda, my time. And my family's been supportive of it. And they've gotten used to me being on a motorcycle, and now they're like, oh, here's Kenny on his motorcycle. He's going to visit us on his motorcycle on Christmas. Of course he is. Alright guys, I wish you a wonderful 2024. I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments. and in upcoming videos. And like I said, if you want to see my pick for the best Softail and best touring chassis model of all of 2023, go ahead and click that box right here in the corner, and I'll see you there. Take care. Deuces.